Yeah, here from the loft now I can start applying the surface pattern, whatever I want. Something that I can create now is just to show you one method of how Grasshopper works in these situations. I want, like after this, I want this loft or like this surface to be mapped. So it starts with 0 again and goes to 1. I'm gonna try to make this surface have its own x and y, I can say. To do that, I'm going to use this surface tab from utility. I will use this isotrim. Takes a surface and it asks for a domain, construct a domain. But the domain that I want to construct is like this, 2 dimensions. It's like to check actually where the component comes from. For example, this one, Control Alt and mouse click, and it tells you that it comes from the math tab from here. Now it's like I'm telling them, I'm telling this one how many divisions I will do on my surface. So I can make also like numbers as 20 and 30, for example, and link this inside of this. Something is not. Now I divided my domain. I can see that I have 20 divisions on one side, which is, I think, yeah, the horizontal side, I can say, and 30 divisions on the vertical side. So this is what we did to this surface here. For now, I will leave like everything as it is now. The isotrim and the divide, I can hide them for now. Yeah, there is a component that is called surface box. Let's delete the divide surface and the isotrim. Yeah, we can go back.
Okay.
So for this surface box is actually asking for pretty basic things. The loft will go to the surface. This domain that we created, which is 20 and 30, will go to the domain, and the height will go, you can say 5. Yeah, I think I can see the problem. It's also creating this, the thing near here, like that's the same place as the door. So instead of construct the domain, I believe we had to go with divide domain to this one. Now to the domain, I can plug the surface and the U and V values, which are like the x and y's for the surface. We can plug 20 and 30. Yeah, I believe this has to work. This will go to the domain in the surface box, and the loft is the surface. Yeah, this component was the thing that created the problem. Divide domain. So we're trying to create or construct a new domain which has like odd numbers. That's why it was only like small, like a door thing there. But if we take like the full domain, which is the full surface, and divide it into like x and y, it will give us this result. So now it's kind of only dividing. What is this thing here? The surface box. Actually, I can plug also like 5. I can see here that it's giving like a thickness for these boxes. This component is creating like a box at each one of these cells here. So if you think about the surface like opened, it's like if you open it, so if it's spread like this, we divided it into 20 and 30, right? So each one of these cells is like, now we have it as a cell. It's being used as a box. So we will like we if we give them thickness, we can put something in that box. So we can bring something else from another place and put it in the box, and then this way we will have this pattern. So this is what we're trying to do now. The next step. The next step, let's do, I don't know, like let's make it like a very basic shape. So I'm gonna go with box. A center box would work. Let me hide everything else so it doesn't. I only have the center box. For the X and Y and Z, I can give them some values. So I will give 5 for the X and Y, and we'll leave the Z as it is. Other than this, I will create a kind of sphere, and like the center of the sphere, I will construct a point. And you see this, like so this. I will give like a thickness to the point, like a height. I will say also 5. Now I will link it only to the Z value.
Okay.
So it's a bit high. And this point will be the base of my circle. Again, I say 5. And link to the radius. What I'm trying to do is to combine these two forms to create something basic. In order to combine them to make them make sense somehow, I will say also 7 and put it to the Z. Or yeah, also a 5 would work. If we change this, the sphere will be up and down. So we can make it a little bit down, like 3 is okay, like this. Now these two forms, I will combine them into one. So I will say union, which is this solid union. I'll plug the first one, and using the shift, plug in the next one. Now if I hide everything before, I will be left with this kind of form. Now this is one form. It's not like a sphere and a cube. It's just one cube sphere thing. And also it still can be parametric. So if we want to change it later, it can be. I will leave it as 3. This is where it becomes like the merging. So now we created that vase. We created that grid on the vase. We have it ready there, the surface box. And now we will try to link this shape to that surface box. So to do that, I will use a boundary box here after the union. So this boundary box is actually create like the extents box that is surrounding bounding box, like it's surrounding that object. So as we can see here, it's creating the new box at the ends of that object. So the maximum width, the maximum depth, and the maximum height. It's creating this helping box, I can say, or bounding box. Double click and Box Morph. So it's like the concept of this is the same, similar to the remap thing that we've done previously. So the remap is only what was with numbers. So it's taking from 0 to 1, making it from 20 to 40. That's the previous thing. But this one is also like this. It's taking a geometry. It's taking its reference point. It's like the bounding box that we created. And it will map it on the target box, which is the vase. So this is what we'll go now. For the geometry, I will link the solid, the union result. This is my geometry. I want it to be repeated. The reference will come from the bounding box, the first box. to the reference, and the target will be this twisted box from above, from the vase. So yeah, kind of did what we wanted to do. Like it's like we created a grid on all of the vase, like the vase surface, and then we copied this object to every cell of this grid. So this is exactly what's going on. Let us make it a bit like make more sense. I will freeze this one or disable this one. That takes a lot of time, and come back to my domain and make it a bit smaller number. So 10 by 15. When we divided the, like creating the grid. So now when I activate it, kind of, yeah, better somehow. I think we should add something between the loft and the surface box. We should add a flip. Otherwise, it's creating these patterns to the inner side of the vase. It's not creating on the outer side. So when we do flip, which is this component, it just changes the normals, the direction. Let us also like give maybe more height for this surface. If instead of 1, I can make 5. Maybe again, like with the Z, instead of 3, I will make it 5. Actually, you know what? I will hide everything, even the box morph. But the box morph, I will bake it now. So middle click to the oven, and yeah, I have it. Now I have it as Rhino geometry. Yeah, this is it. So there is a cool preview option that if you activate this green one, so only the thing that you are selecting will be shown. Now, if I click this, I will see that these are my points. Then I have the circles. I have the loft. I have the surface boxes, but with a very rough grid. I have on the side, I had my box and my sphere. And I had my object. And then I like remapped this object to these boxes, and I got this result. So this is the process that we did. After the loft, since we have this loft as, like because of our circles and because of our graph mapper here, we can like create any kind of shape we want. After this loft, we can do a whole bunch of other different methods. We can go like with very different ways to create, I don't know, like a noise on the pattern on the surface, or what